What is up? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup. We are still in brackets, and we are deeper in brackets than ever before, because we are deep in round 2, game 2, and this could be one of the few people today that's going to round 3 already, and that would be HauntedQuest, because he won game 1 against Slowpoke, and that's what we are up to for today. So usually, you know me, I'd usually just go over to the layout and just show you the game feed. But for whatever reason, one of my dear races today, namely Slowpoke, did only just 1 second ago switch to his game layout, and thus I still have to crop it in. But yeah, we should be pretty fine now, so let's slowly fade out the music and welcome the commentators for today, which will be Sinner and Dazed Cloud. What's up, friends?
Yo, welcome everybody. My name is Sinner and I'm gonna be your host today alongside with my wonderful co-commentator Dazed Cloud. Dazed, how are you doing today?
Doing great, bud. Looking forward to all sorts of crazy enemizer goodness.
Oh, certainly. So, will we encounter any Trinix today, or what kind of shenanigans are we hoping for?
Ooh. Alright, well, saying the last time I played Enemizer, I got Trinix on Landmo 2 without an Ice Rod, which I kind of want to see someone else deal with that.
It's pretty mean, actually. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited what we are going to encounter in the seed, and it looks like our races are off. Just a small key in the sanctuary, and we got the Bloomerang in Link's house. That's actually a pretty good start. I mean, aside from the blue boomerang being the best boomerang, obviously, it actually helps with item menuing a lot. And HauntedQuest just gave us a map check here, and it looks like Desert was going to be a pendant today. Well, the other 2 dungeons were just regular crystals.
Slowpoke will have the chance to be able to check that stun prize too if he chooses.
And meanwhile, we see the bushcrab just dropping 5 rupees today, while the uncle has a big stash of money with him today. Unfortunately, not a sword for us, but I guess those runs will be fine.
HauntedQuest having some trouble there with the
Okay, we're also gonna see if our dear friend Aghanim is gonna be required today, and just triple bombs, so I don't think any of the runners will actually go for that. But who knows? We might still have to do it to access him, to access the Dark World.
pretty standard start so far. Just looking for bombs so far. Oh, as I say that, HauntedQuest walks into the Haunted Grove and the Lost Woods and finds it there.
Which is pretty nice. I'm also excited to see if one of the runners actually decides to pick up the fish and turn it into the bottle vendor for free bombs at the magic refill.
Oh, that's always the best.
We shall see. Since we just seen one right next to Kakariko, actually. So that'll be interesting if any of the runners will actually go for that.
We'll have to see there. Looked like a Slowpoke just picked up a nice tree pull there and got himself a good 4 bombs. Looked like both guys walking into Kakariko actually have what they need to keep going, which keep this up a little bit, keep them fairly equal at the beginning.
Definitely. It will be interesting to see if we are able to clear out the chicken hut right away, or if we are going to be blocked off by a couple of red guards in there.
Oh, red guard chicken hut is always just the best.
Yeah, luckily this is not chaos damage, so that would have been a little bit worse then. But I guess these runners should be fine even on this difficulty. I mean, HauntedQuest is living on the edge there with just half a heart left. But it picks up a full heart container, so it should be fine as well. But yeah, Blind's Hut not really offering for anything for us today as well, unfortunately. So Let's see if the
okay
well
so
actually
far.
has the treasure. Or maybe even the mini Molon cave forced with only bombs. That'd be nice to see.
That's what we need when you at the moment here. That looks like what we might be getting. And there's the sword. Okay, never mind.
Alright, that's great news. So that's one step towards Aghanim. Okay, let's
It's
see
gonna
what
be that
else.
easy. All right, I'll just call out things all the time.
You're acting like a good luck charm, which is pretty nice for these runners, I guess.
Don't worry, it'll turn on them soon enough. Slowpoke or Meatwad over there. Now it's got the got a fire shield there, and we get our. Oh, here comes the chicken hut.
Right, and
Oh,
looks beautiful.
disappointing chicken hut.
It's at least a lot nicer than the chicken nuts I usually get in my Animalizer seeds. It gets rewarded with triple bombs in there, which is not too bad, all things considered.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is all right.
Sword right now in the well.
And a glove over there on HauntedQuest's side.
Okay, so seems like we are heading southwards now to the race game at the digging game. Looking what the treasure troves down here are, and then probably following the standard routing into the South Shore. Oh, and we got the Titansmiths on the race game, actually. It's pretty worthwhile. So we're just a moonpull away from Dark World access. And I wanted it to be an Aghanim seed. Now I'm kind of sad.
The fish in the race game. God, Enemizer is just the most fun thing to watch. And
Oh my, I mean, a fish can't be more convenient at that point. I probably would have taken the time to run back to get at least a full magic refill out of that, along with a couple of rubies, but HauntedQuest decides to do something else, so I think he's gonna go for the back of escape now, see what the 3 remaining items are back there. I mean, early gloves are usually a good indicator for a back of escape having something. Okay, I would say that's worthwhile. A Master Sword and money out of it for the South Shore, which is pretty nice. Almost enough rupees to check King Zora here. While also on Slowpokes, and he's gonna pick up the Titansmiths.
what's your opinion on fake flippering and Enemizer? I kind of always feel like it's borderline suicidal.
It really depends on the enemy placement. I mean, if I see a red guard or something like that, or just before the portal, I usually refrain to do so, because I usually end up getting bodied by those guys anyway. But I think if you make proper use of the iframes just after the warp, you should be fine, for most of it at least. But it really strongly depends on the enemy placement. It can be generous, but it can be awful as well. I mean, I certainly wouldn't go for any fake flipper stuff if there was at least a red guard on the surface of Lake Hylia. It's almost a guaranteed one-hit KO. As we also pick up the Cane of Burner, or Cane of Brine as we like to call it, in the dam.
50 more rupees will get him even that much closer, if he wants to go that way.
I think at this point you would be tempted to just do the fake flipper stuff.
You kind of risk it and see what happens. You know, if you get lucky and you get through, great, fantastic. And if you get pegged, well, then it's basically a save and quit.
Which you would have done anyway, so I guess with the glove in hands, there's even if they don't end up getting money here in the mini Moldom cave now, they still can grind money from the rock just next to Ice Rock Cave, and then still have enough money to do the whole Zora thing. But we'll see what HauntedQuest and Slowpoke decide to do.
Ether medallion though over in mini Moldorm cave, and silver arrows. So we got a little bit of that out of that, and 20 more rupees to get you a little closer. Gators, huh?
It just looks like penguinators on the surface. So you should be pretty fine for fake flippering, I guess, in this seed.
That one's tempting. That one's a tempting one. You can go for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's something I would certainly do in this seed, at least.
Oh, my favorite little red horse heads. Zyzax, or oh, hey, hello, Lionel.
I think they're called Zazax. Oh, that's great, actually. I like Lionels. Especially when they are in narrow hallways like the Spiral Cave.
Oh god, yeah, that's a fun one right there. Lionels are one of those enemies that if they're out in the open, you're just like, okay, you're not actually scary. But if you get them in close, then you're like, I'm gonna die quickly.
Certainly, as we pick up a bottle in the Ice Rock Cave, so Sickhead could have our Moonpole today. And that'd be kind of interesting to see if one of the runners decides to instantly go back to Sickhead. But I think the idea of Sahashala and Eastern is more tempting right now.
Seems that way. It does look like it doesn't look like nobody is gonna go for the great fake flipper thing as a giant spiky ball comes swinging down out of nowhere.
Okay,
on
meanwhile,
Slowpoke side.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. I was on Slowpoke side. It looks like he's gonna go to the back of Escape there, while HauntedQuest heads up to check Sasharala there.
Yeah, did they pick up the small key from the Sanctuary? I don't really remember.
Yes,
yeah, they did. Actually, it'd be interesting to see if Slowpoke actually decides to go for the Dark Cross chest, even though it's kind of tricky in the dark, especially in Animizer.
Oh, yeah. Nope, looks like he's at an open out of there.
Ooh,
doesn't want to run into a rogue chain jump.
Sahashala holding all the treasures, the lamp and the cane of Samaria for us today. So it's putting Eastern in logic, actually, depending on the item placement. Enemy placement. So we might be potentially able to just beat Eastern right away.
Let's see what happens here. Then we might run into our first Trinex of the day.
Oh, don't jinx it yet, please.
Oh, I'm not doing anything yet.
Not exactly B-builders. The bow is only a hard requirement in Animizer for Palace of Darkness because you need to hit the statue to open up the stairway to the boss. Eastern has been changed in that regard. Those red Igors are not necessarily placed and they cannot be in rooms that require all enemies to kill, so that kind of makes the bow an unnecessary item for Eastern Palace, at least. While Slowpoke also picks up his lamp and his cane of Samaria.
The biggest problem in Eastern in Animizer is walking into the room right after the big key door in the dark there, and just running into a whole mess of enemies that you're just not prepared to deal with on low health like this.
That is true, especially when the room is full of big spike rollers. I have had it in the dark and I was constantly wondering, hey, why do I keep dying here? There's nothing on screen.
I can't see anything. The other thing here is that if they had the magic, ooh, Bombos medallion there. If they had the magic, they do have the blue cane.
Oh, definitely. Bombo is also the best medallion for Animizer because it basically almost instant kills everything. You only need it in Palace of Darkness Bulldozer. For everything else, the bow is not really a hard requirement anymore, not even for Ganon's Tower. It's just more of a convenience item in Animizer, given that Palace of Darkness is actually a pendant.
Many times that I've played Animizer and have gotten to Ganon and just haven't found the bow just because pendants were on Eastern and Pod. That's not going to be today. Well, we don't know about Pod yet. Pod is the big one.
Oh, and just more money from Eastern itself, so another big rupee stash there for them. Okay, some cash is in Blind's hideout. Oh, thank you, game. That's a useful hint.
Boom. Oh, that's an issue.
There's actually a big spike roller. One of my favorite enemies. Well, they have the green Bruce.
Smart.
I guess at this point, you can I would probably just damage boost it. I guess. I mean, you can, aside from taking damage from the spike roller, you can also bomb yourself through the spike roller.
The spike rollers on green metal, they do 4 hearts, right?
Wasn't
Something
it free?
like that?
I think it was free, but I might be wrong.
I know they hurt. That's the thing. I know they hurt. I think it goes 4 and then 2 and then 1 if you get once you finally get to red mail.
Yeah, something around that. I haven't been dealing with them for a while. Well, it seems like we have a couple of red guards there in the first Dark Room Nissan. Those guys, or those enemies are also equally annoying as the red spear guards. My goodness.
This is one of those rooms where Randomizer has this weird thing of sometimes easier. Instead of having to like try to do some sort of fancy damage boost through a bunch of anti-fairies this time, you can just walk up and...
Well, as long as you don't get hit by those cyclop thingies.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, that's a, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough. And there is a pot which you can drop down here in the big key chest room to grab some fairies to restore health, in case something goes completely wrong.
This time, though,
I didn't quite catch it. Was that the last item we've seen in Eastern Palace?
Go in the door first.
I mean, I guess that works too, right?
Works.
I'm actually amazed you can stun the Cyclop things with the boomerang. That's something I frankly said didn't know.
Really? Oh, yep. That is the proper way to do that sort of a room. Oh my lord.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I probably would have done the same. That situation. It's not a fun room to mess with, especially when they are all catching onto you right at the beginning, and you just can't slash them away because you will constantly clink off the swords.
Well, the lag alone, though, as well, would just
Yeah, I think Eastern is the only dungeon in which this is actually the case, as far as I remember. Like this room in particular and the one right before the boss are probably the worst in terms of enemy density and Randomizer, which can cause a huge lag.
Thieves Town's pretty bad as well.
Yeah, you just go ahead and use that bombers. I don't want to bother with mini molems as well.
All right, and survey says our first boss is Landmo. Oh well.
Yeah, that looks beatable.
This is completely doable. It's going to be a bit slow, but get through it.
I mean, he could use the Cane of Samaria for some extra damage there, if he so chooses to.
I swore he heard you.
Well, I mean, that's what I usually end up doing, because it's even if it just deals fighter sword damage, it's still one extra hit you get off of the enemies.
A little low on health, but it's gonna be okay, it looks like. Here goes the second one, and on to our last little wormy friend here. Down goes Landmo.
A wonderful fight. And just gets rewarded with a compass. So Eastern not really having anything at all. So I guess it's gonna be Escape or maybe Zora. I mean, it would be wonderful if the Moon Pearl is sitting just on the pyramid ledge.
We still gotta go to Agana. possibly, which is fun.
Yeah, I think those runs will probably exhaust all their options before even thinking about Aghanim in the first place, because you're literally just one item away from your Dark World access and might as well check those one-off spots for the potential Moon Pearl. Especially
Right,
Zora seems kind of out of the way right now, so I would say it's likely for him to have the Moon Pearl, but we shall see.
We're probably headed back into Escape here, and we're gonna check out everything that we could find in here.
Did Slowpoke maybe miss a chest here in Eastern, because he's actually going back in there?
Oh, he didn't open the big chest.
Okay, that makes more sense now. Kind of wonder why though, but that's all right. I mean, it's not a huge time loss.
Not a big one, but maybe, I mean, at this point, I guess he's thinking about maybe that was my Moon Pearl, or maybe that was my...
Yeah, but unfortunately for him, it's only going to be 20 rupees.
Yeah, that's how it usually works out, except for that one time that it doesn't.
That is true. It seems like our HauntedQuest is going to go for the front part of Escape here. So it's going to be interesting. Since he has the land off, he's going for the Dark Cross chest first. No, apparently he does not. Understandable, there's this little narrow hallway where usually the ropes are located, and that can be kind of tricky depending on what enemy is placed there.
With Bombos and Ether, a lot of those... Ooh, we got a mirror. Oh, we could be going up to Death Mountain here pretty soon.
Oh, that would be at least tempting.
At this point, it is completable. You can go get your second crystal the moment that you head in there. Slowpoke is taking your advice, and he's going straight back to that sewers chest to see what he can find.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to be something good, although this is going to be a little bit slow because he does not have the mirror. So HauntedQuest could actually make that trip a little bit more faster now due to having the mirror, while Slowpoke has to default there. That's actually, what are these guys called? Little ghost thingies?
Little pose.
Oh, pose, okay.
I know that from Ocarina of Time.
Jeez. Been a long time since I even touched it. And just 20 rupees in the Dark Cross chest.
That might be the cutest death animation I've seen.
Oh, looks like we have a minor Amos Knight there as the guard for the big key in Hyrule Castle, and getting rewarded with the big laugh there. So yeah, I'm kind of expecting that we are going to see the Tower of Hera climb next. I mean, it would make more sense at this point with the mirror enhanced. And if we end up finding Hookshot or the hammer inside Hera, we can also check East Death Mountain.
At this point, you're looking at least 5 items that you know you can get if you head that way. So it just seems to be just from a density point of view is the best way to go. Looks like HauntedQuest taking a little bit of extra precaution there, trying to get through things, and see what HauntedQuest does with himself. Yep, that's a Death Mountain play for sure.
I'm kind of excited to see Vitreous in the Moldom Arena again. That's also going to be a very interesting fight if that happens to be like something like that.
Oh, that arena up there in Hera can just be the worst place to fight things, especially if you get a Helmasaur that just decides I'm going to camp over that center hole.
My God. Yeah, that's probably the worst fight, I guess. I mean, Vitreous is still doable if you're being a little bit cautious. But yeah, I think Helmasaur is probably the worst one over there.
Oh, speaking of which, if we can get a Helmasaur in Skull Woods.
Oh, please no. Although I like the kind of this helicopter tail.
Oh, the Helmacopter it's just it's a thing of beauty.
I mean, it's every time mesmerizing.
Can we get a blind in Skull Woods? Why, yes, we can, and you can die to him twice. Imagine why you put
for
that
our
one up
brother's
there.
sake, that's not gonna be happening, or something like Cold Stone Ice almost 2 required later on. But I think blind anywhere can be kind of a pain, even in the Palace of Darkness arena, if he's camping the spikes in the upper part of the arena.
Oh yeah. Well, blind in he gave me the greatest thing. Let me get to 8 fights and then get pegged by a fireball fight here on what was that, 2 days ago? That was streamed on this, so that's why he's reminding me of.
Oh, interestingly enough, HauntedQuest decides to skip the Spectacle Rock Cave item. So I guess he's gonna go back to that once he's done with Tower of Hera.
That seems like a pretty good idea there, because I mean, like if you miss that bomb jump, you're looking at reclimbing the stairs, and that's slow.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Well, Slowpoke is actually giving us the information on what is going to be in the Spectral Rock Cave, and it's another bottle.
Hey. We're taking a coffee break today. If you can get through the incredibly hard-hitting slug bombs there.
I'm still surprised that those enemies actually deal 4 hearts of damage, and we get another map check in the Darkwood. Seems like Skullwoods and Turtle Rock are gonna be our 5-6 crystals, and if I saw that right, Swamp Palace and Ice Palace were the pendants, while Ice was being the green one. I'm not sure if I saw that correctly.
If that is Swamp and Ice, then we might not be finding flippers today. Or you definitely don't want to see flippers today.
I mean, I can't remember the last time when Pendant Swamp didn't have anything.
You have to just mark it down as you're gonna go there. And what's usually gonna happen is you're gonna have a coin flip between Pendant Swamp and Pendant Ice Palace, and it's like, well, good luck.
Well, I mean, neither of them is a good choice at that point. I think I would still prefer to go to Ice, but then again, just from experience myself, I would say Swamp is more likely to have anything, but we shall see. It doesn't have to be the case for this seed. Interestingly enough, HauntedQuest is actually deciding not to use this mirror here, but to Death Orb instead. I wonder why.
I guess
maybe because of the heart refill?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of there. All right, everybody, place your bets. Who do you think we have at the top of this great tower up here?
I still want it to be Vitreous. I'm kind of biased towards that because I really like Vitreous in Hera.
I think if you're on Hera, can't you, like, if you have the bow, can't you just shoot Vitreous from like the higher platform?
Yeah, you can. And it's actually what makes this fight a little bit more convenient. And even if you don't happen to have the bow, you can just kind of lure the eyeballs to the top there and then just smack them with the sword or with the hammer.
Oh my. Did you see that hint?
We're actually completely
Western Wing of Swamp today. Bottle and a flute there.
Ooh, so it's gonna... Oh, yeah, that's definitely required, given that Misery Maya is gonna be. And we also pick up the shovel from the chest just before the big chest. So they could also potentially hold our Moon Pearl today.
Still haven't found that thing yet, have we?
Yeah, I think shovel was the first item in Hera, if I didn't miss it completely. I think it should be our first item. And the boss, whoever it's gonna be...
It is Cold Stare.
Okay, yeah, that's beatable. I mean, you got bombers. Might as well.
Not fun on that arena, but it is beatable.
Okay, thank you, Tyler, for keeping track on that. So apparently we fought the second item and it's just a piece of heart. Oh, yeah, this
Such
is
a
one of the
lovely
more
fight.
stressful fights. Don't fall down.
Oh, that is a good plan there. Kane is not gonna do you any good if you don't use it there. Just get him into the corner and slash away.
Yeah, at this point, don't even care about the additional lag you're causing. It's just all about the safety. I mean, he's literally one hit away from getting game over. Even
You're just trying to stay alive at this point.
Yeah. He's doing a pretty good job so far.
It
Well,
looks like on Slowpoke's
unfortunately
side, he took a fall there.
Ooh, that was pretty close.
What's worse is those ice blocks from the ceiling there. They are on green mail. They hurt. They are a lot of times, and he gets through.
Ooh, nicely done.
HauntedQuest.
And picks up the compass as well as the second crystal. And we still haven't found our moon pearl. So the idea of Zora having the moon pearl is actually really tempting right now.
Huh. Yeah, you're either going to Zora or you're going to Desert. Which one do you want to go to?
I mean, I guess the first thing I would do is check the shovel spot, just in case, and then probably combine it with an Agina check and afterwards Zora. But that's at least what I would do routing-wise.
Yeah, that seems like a smart play, and Slowpoke seems to be following your advice exactly here.
Yeah, well, Slowpoke could also decide to just go and check Sick Kid right after this, which is another trip back to Kakariko.
Right, that is another thing we hadn't thought about. Unique item in Ganon's Tower. No kidding.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be the Ice Rod, if I have to take a wild guess.
Oh!
Ooh, actually checking the shovel spot was a great idea. That's the Moonpad, so that's Darkwood access.
Time to see what we have for the rest of the day.
So let's see, this opens up. Feastown is the only thing that should be available right now. I guess that's what we're gonna see first. Or maybe some of the overworld, in hopes that we find the hammer so we can actually check the big chest.
Because we are a long ways away from anything that resembles Go mode at this point. We've really mentioning right now, 30 minutes in though, and getting a... That's 30 minutes in with 2 crystals, getting into feel all right there. Slowpoke might not feel as good right now, especially after taking that fall up on top.
Yeah, but he's also aware that there's no item left in Tower of Hera, and he's got everything, so he can just backtrack there later before GT. So it's not gonna be a huge time loss for him either, since he has the mirror.
That is true. That is true. That would be the best way to play it.
And it's not even a 5-6 crystal, so it's not that important right now. And seems like Sick Kid also only had a piece of heart today.
Slowpoke's now into Skull Woods over there and having to dodge a few guys. Key in the first chest, and he's going to go into the pot prison next to see what he can find.
Oh, just 10 arrows, so that's the first treasure wow. I'm messing up dungeons right now. Or mixing map, actually. Skullwoods, I was about to say. Palace of Darkness, man. We're still steps away from that. Although we could have access to Palace of Darkness right now, depending on if the logic wants us to do Aghanim to go over there.
If it wants to be particularly mean, that is an option. And so we've got HauntedQuest there, checking the bombable hut, and into the back of Skull Woods. And neither finding, Haunted not finding much. Getting a map.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be Feastown or maybe Hype Cave.
Or the bow in the sea house. That's another option.
But as we're talking about this, HauntedQuest actually picks up the bow in the C-shaped house.
Yeah. Because we're having that effect on them today.
Well, if only we actually had the hammer, so we could full get Plus of Darkness right now, which is another free crystal. But I guess Feastone will do. It's another crystal as well. Chances are good hammer is gonna be here.
And we get a tempered sword in the first chest of thieves.
Oh, that's really nice, actually.
That is fantastic. The rest of the game has gotten much easier for Haunted Quest. On the other hand, it is looking like he is going to be checking the north part of Hyrule here.
All right, yeah, we have Graveyard Ledge over here as well.
See, it looked like he walked past. It looked like he might have walked past Bumper Ledge, but I didn't see. Oh, there. Thank you, Nato. There's an ice route on Bumper Ledge.
Ooh, okay, so it kind of makes me wonder what the unique item against Tower is gonna be today.
Oh, bug net probably.
Well, as we talk about this, HauntedQuest picks up the magic powder in Feastone as well, which is super convenient because we have the mirror. We could go and check magic bed right away.
Yeah, you have to give up your portal at the moment without the hammer, but I mean that seems like
it's just a minor thing, given that we actually have the Titan's Midst to access the portal more quickly. So I guess it's not the most convenient way, but it's not the most awful way to check bed. I mean, ideally you combine it with Blacksmith as well.
And Haunted Quest goes straight back to fight another Cold Stare. Hi again.
That's gonna be a breeze now with the Temper Sword in hands. Cold Stare's no enemy whatsoever.
At the corner there might not. They might get out a little strangely there with the kind of curved edges, but you'll probably be just fine. If you got through one, the other one before I finish my sentence.
Yeah, and there gets a double kill on the other one right after that. So yeah, that's actually what I like about Animizer the most, is especially in Feastone, you can just go blind for the boss, and if you can beat it, that's another crystal, and in case the boss happens to have one item, you're actually safe checking one more chest downstairs, which is pretty nice.
Some of the most fun things that you'll play just out of the pure silliness of it.
Alright, that's actually an interesting idea that HauntedQuest decides to just beat the boss and leaving 2 items behind. So I think he's actually playing on the hammer being elsewhere and then probably come back later to check that along with the big chest.
I don't hate that play. I actually kind of like it. Well, Seto, right now we got Haunted Quest out to a little bit of a quick start. Three crystals to Slowpoke's 1 there. Slowpoke took a fall up on the top of Tower of Hera there to a nice, lovely Cold Stare that happened to be hiding a little bit behind, but it's not a huge amount.
Now he's slowly catching up. So it should be up with HauntedQuest relatively soon.
As is his name, after all. I mean, you can't be a Slowpoke if you're not going to slowly catch up. I mean, it's in the name.
Okay, and it looks like that HauntedQuest is deciding to just go ahead and do the smithy stuff right now. Wonder if he's gonna combine that with Magic Bed right away. Or if he's just saying, I'm gonna do this purple chest first and then come back later for Magic Bed.
Ooh. That's a nice black rug they got there.
And just more love from the blacksmiths. And now Slowpoke is about to get his revenge on Cold Stare. Yeah, Cold Stare is so much more convenient with the Temper Sword instead of the Master Sword.
Oh.
Makes this fight so much more easier.
I mean, you like to have butter just to take 3 swings at him and have him die, but a tempered sword is
Well,
just
fair
as
enough.
good. I'm actually kind of looking forward to them finding a male upgrade just because I want to see what does Meatwad turn into after a after he gets a new clothes. Poke is going back into Thieves Town.
Oh, all right. So he's going for the. No, actually, we have the small key. We have. Okay, yeah. Oh, I was slightly confused. That it means we have 3 items in the back. Huh.
Oh, I think this key that he picked up was the one up by the boss room. So I think we've still only got the 2 items. But this could be big if he ends up finding something here.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm completely oblivious there. Yeah. You were supposed to have 2 keys by that point if you picked up that. Okay. Never mind. I did not say anything.
Hey, you good? Now we got a hype cave over here and half magic.
Is it gonna be hype today? Well, half magic is not what you're actually looking for, but it's a pretty good consolation prize.
And yeah, that's a whole lot of that there.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least you got half magic out of that, so that's nice, I guess. So it seems like
Yeah, I mean, you get half
the...
magic and
go ahead.
oh, sorry, I was just saying, you get half magic and you combine that with the Cane of Burna there, and you can pretty much take anything else on in the game.
Yeah, that is true. It's gonna be interesting to see where our Dark World progression is gonna be, since, I mean, at this point, it kind of has to be, I guess, either Thieves Town or maybe Magic Bed. Unless it's here in the purple chest.
I kind of feel like it's going to be here in the purple chest just because you said something.
Oh, and there's also the Bucknet in the attic chest in Thieves Town.
But we're going to get to go see the old man out into the desert now, see what he has.
I missed it. Apparently Slowpoke also picked up the mushroom somewhere.
Oh.
Was that also in Thieves Town? I'm not really sure. I didn't see it. Oh, okay. Thanks, Nori. Shroom on Graveyard Ledge.
Okay, thank you.
And Agna is giving our blessings with a heart container today.
Alright, now where to?
I think it has to be Thieves Town, maybe? Or which? Yeah, well, I think that was the last item in Thieves Town, so not really a whole lot in there.
Left.
I mean, got a temper sword out of there, and the half magic from the hype cave is nice, but other than that, there wasn't really anything. So I guess it might be Magic Bet at this point.
Yeah, I think that's what HauntedQuest is thinking right now, but...
I mean, it could still be King Zora, and that would be really trolly. Like, if Zora happens to have vanilla flippers.
Oh, that's always the fun thing. Oh, that's right. That's right. HauntedQuest hadn't gone to Skull Woods yet. It's not gonna find anything up here, though. Almost kind of wonder if it is gonna be one of those great, hey, you gotta go to Aga at 45 minutes in.
Oh dear God, that's always the worst.
It's no boots, so you can't do the water walk to get through. So,
I mean, there's an alternative way to do it if you happen to have a ferry. Since we have the Bugnet, we could theoretically go catch a ferry to do a ferry revival to put another water walk glitch in place for that.
oh, but the amount of people who know how to do that.
Yeah, myself included.
No idea. Yeah, no, I've got no idea. I still have trouble with just a basic water walk 90% of the time, it seems like.
Okay, Okay, so meanwhile, Slowpoke also decides to turn in the Smithy and the purple chest. I'm kind of interested to see that neither of these runners actually decided to do Magic Bet first. I mean, you are kind of right here next to Kakariko, and it wouldn't be an awful run back to the purple chest. But, I mean, it makes a lot more sense because you have Hype Cave on the way down there as well, which could potentially have your next progressive item. But
Yeah, it's oh well, there you go. Here you're gonna get your purple. You're gonna get your magic bat.
Ooh, I actually like this. So he's actually purposely skipping out on Hype Cave, which isn't too bad. I mean, either way, if you leave purple chest behind or the magic bat, you have to backcheck to either of those locations without the hammer.
And Batman gives you mirror shield.
Well, I guess we can go to Laser Bridge now.
Yeah, of course. You know, just as soon as we can. There. This is glitchless,
I mean,
right?
in theory, we would still need Fire Rod to do that, but who knows?
I mean,
Zelda 641987. This is actually the Animizer, which is another randomizer for Link to the Past that shuffles around all the enemy sprites in the overworld as well as the bosses, which can make up for some trolley seeds.
Quest just picks up their mushroom. Back into the dark world with his purple chest there. He's probably going to go run through the southern part to let's see what he can see.
Oh, actually, that's a smart idea. He actually thought about going back into the portal to just get... yeah, I actually have to remember that, because I usually just orphan at one location and then come back to it later. And that's actually a pretty neat idea. Since it's much more convenient to just save quit to your house and then turn in the purple chest.
And turning in the purple chest without the hammer is just it can get messier if you just save and quit, because you pull the just instinctual play there, you know, the trained play, and then you realize that I can't do that.
Yeah, so Days, what do you think is gonna be our next progressive item?
Oh, that is a good question at this point. I'm kind of starting to feel like that vanilla flippers might be an interesting play.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I think flippers are more likely to be the next progressive item since we have the knowledge of the flute already.
Flippers leading you into Ice Palace, it seems like would be what that would entail, and then you'd be going into Ice Palace without a hammer. It's just the best feeling in the world.
Why? And then you don't even end up finding the hammer there, but just something else.
Yeah, and then so you got to come back later, of course. Then
it's the worst to just go into ice and not be able to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bombos won't work quite yet on those Stalfos Knights and the Thieves. Those are one of the enemies that are not affected by any medallions.
HauntedQuest doing a little bit of dancing, but gets through there all right.
I think Slowpoke. I'm not sure if Slowpoke's actually playing on console. I think so. Maybe on emulator, which is the most common thing people do in the randomizer community.
Favorite Zelda game? Oh, that'd be tie between this one and Ocarina of Time. Doesn't need that. I think that one, but
I'm gonna hold
games I
back on
played.
Ocarina of Time. It's not actually one of my favorite games. I was more the Majora's Mask fan instead of Ocarina of Time.
Oh, also excellent. Completely excellent. With any of those, honestly.
Yeah, true. That both are absolutely great games. But up to this day, A Link to the Past is still my most favorite Zelda game by far. And also Slowpoke wanting to deliver the fish to Egina, feeding that little old starving man.
He got it to
Pretty
the door,
generous
but he didn't
idea.
want to come with him.
What a rude fish. Time to catch it into a bottle and deliver it.
In Ocarina of Time, you can take fish in a bottle.
And do some really obscure things then.
Occasionally. Yeah, and looks like we have a red rupee in the... And so...
Yeah, so Thieves Town, not even having anything either. So I really think it's either going to be Zora or we are going to have another, well, maybe Aghanim Seed. Unless the witch happens to have our progressive item, which Slowpoke's probably gonna be doing next since he's setting up a fake flipper here to the portal.
Hey, setting up one of the lesser used fake flippers, which is always a little bit tricky to pull off.
That is true. I mean, the easiest way to do this is just bomb yourself into the correct pixel and then just jump into the water.
He tried doing that, and it didn't take.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, this one is actually pretty tricky.
Other one seems like you get a lot more. At this point, it'd be. Oh, there he goes. He got it.
Alright, while HauntedQuest also picks up his mirror shield right there. I think you actually have to have a precise input for that to work. It's like one of those things in which you actually hold one pixel in the wrong direction or switch a little bit too late, it won't work properly.
All right,
I'm not really sure how the details are on that one, but I guess HauntedQuest is gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
And gets it first. Right, nice. So I mean, at this point, you actually just walk over to Zora, don't you? I mean, you're already here.
You're here. You're here. You do that. I mean, if you really wanted to be aggressive. Oh, hey, there you go. There's your progression finally.
Oh, hookshot. Well, okay, that opens up everything on the mountain, so no need for Zora yet.
Time to go up there for sure. But is he gonna go? Yeah, I guess we're gonna go to check Zora though first.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad idea. You're right here, and you might as well get that out of the way, so it's not on your mind later on. And especially when Zora happens to have something like Fire Rod, that'd be huge because you could potentially finish Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. If Zora pays off, then this is a great check. If not, it's a bit of a walk. Although we do get to see the absolute amazingness that is Zora's domain in Enemizer.
Oh my god, with all the Octoballoons and the Octorock shooters around the place. But this one actually, I kind of want to play the scene myself. It's so generous in terms of enemy distribution.
This has been pretty nice so far. I mean, I haven't seen anything in this that makes you go, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And that cold stare on Hera was, not nice, but...
Yeah, but it's not the worst. Well, Zora only having a piece of heart today. So it's kind of unfortunate that didn't work out in the end. Meanwhile, we see HauntedQuest over here in the Paradox Cave.
Oh, found the money.
Well, I mean, you can go back to the Witch Gnome and buy potions if you so desire.
Is that going to get you a full set of 10 blue potions right there? Yep, looks like it.
So let's run this through. What do we technically need for Gurm? Well, maybe we need Quake. We know where the flute is.
Still need flippers.
Yeah, flippers, the hammer, and potentially.
There's our ice rod right there. With the cape.
That's a cape, so we could actually get that ice rod right away now. And the butter sword. Wow, this is a generous seat. So they got all the swords already. Mirror shield. They're still lacking the mail still, but I don't think that's gonna be a big issue for now. Especially with that attack power.
You'd feel a little bit better if you ran into the males, but it's not gonna. You're not gonna really get too worried about it at this point. You got 2 bottles. You got enough to get through the rest of the game without too much problem. Depending on what Ganon's tower throws at you.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, That's even better than NMG setup, so it should be fine. Also on the quest.
Your single arrow, so that takes out that prize being in Ganon's tower.
Oh no, I'm disappointed. I always like this arrow to be in a trolley place that the hint actually hint towards to. Like there is, there is a unique item in the Swamp Palace Big Chest and you just open and there's a single arrow.
I haven't had that happen to me yet. I know it's gonna happen one of these days, and when it does, I don't know if I'm gonna laugh or be angry.
I think you're kind of gonna be both. And we also saw that Turtle Rock is gonna be the requiring the Aether medallion today. So we already have that in our possession. So yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to be crazy aggressive right now and jump a little bit into Turtle Rock, see if you find something in like the Chain Chomp chest or something?
I mean, cannot really get far in there without the hammer at least. So we're still missing it, but we also pick up the flippers now. That opens up Ice Palace. Or maybe if you want to be
Swamp Palace even more though.
And you also pick up a blue mail as well in the Hookshot Cave, so that's actually pretty nice. So at this point, do you just decide to go into Ice Palace without the hammer, or are you gonna make that crazy gamble for the first chest and Swamp Palace being the hammer?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You go Swamp first, probably. Hit it big there. You hit it real big, and if you go in, and if you don't, you've lost. I don't know.
Yeah,
30
I
seconds.
think Swamp is actually not a bad idea since you can just kind of mirror out and walk over to Ice Palace.
Right, like you're close enough that it's not that big of a deal, but it's not something that you're. Neither one feels very good right now. Oh, these late hammers always mess with you.
Yeah, totally. Did Meat Boy even change his color after picking up the blue mail there? I don't see any difference on that sprite.
Oh, yeah, I guess not. Oh well.
Maybe the color of his eyes has changed. I mean, all right. So it's gonna be interesting to see what is HauntedQuest going to do now.
I'm always going to be partial to the sprites that have the drastic changes in their when they get the new mail. I can talk.
Is HauntedQuest going for Batman? Didn't he do Batman yet?
Yes, he did. I
can't think why else he would go back here.
Oh, Ice Rod. Right, of course.
Oh, not only that, the flippers actually also open up the waterway to Catfish and Palace of Darkness now. That's also an option we could do, since we have the bow right now.
Yes, with that bow, you probably want to go there, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's actually a more reasonable gamble. You can check all of pot except for the boss. And if that doesn't work out, you can just save it and go to Ice.
Right. Yeah, if you're choosing between all of those, yeah, you're gonna go to pod first every time. There's just so many chests in there that's where you're gonna want to go. The Slowpoke's gonna go and do,
as well as Catfish and the Pyramid Ledge on top of that.
Right. Slowpoke's doing our flipper checks here.
Well, it's also something, if HauntedQuest actually thinks about it properly, he can actually combine that after doing Catfish with the mirror, which is also a great idea. If he actually thinks about that.
Goes that way. If he goes the full north route and doesn't like jump out a little bit early, which some people occasionally.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be super tempted to do Catfish right away now, but we'll see what HauntedQuest is deciding to do. I mean, it's a little bit more enticing. It just feels bad to walk all the way back from Catfish.
Yeah. We almost at the same place at the same time here, it looks like.
Yeah, so Hobo didn't really have anything. Let's see if the Waterfall of Wishing can provide our next progressive item here.
Oh,
there's another boomerang. Not that it's gonna be any useful, since it's the lag meringue.
I actually do not hate the red meringue. I don't hate it. I actually kind of find it useful in a couple of rooms. But it's not great. It's not what you're looking for.
I mean, I don't really mind either boomerang as long as as long as it allows me to conveniently switch to my hammer. It looks like Catfish is not having anything today either. And yeah, looks like HauntedQuest is actually thinking about that and combines this with Waterfall of Wishing. So
This is gonna save him some time.
Oh, definitely. So wonder if he's actually just gonna go for Hobo right away, or if he's just offering it him right now and hope that he doesn't have anything progressive. I mean,
Hobo's
we
very easy to check.
obviously, yeah, definitely. I mean, we obviously know Hobo doesn't have anything, but he doesn't. All right, yeah. Top Left is actually bringing up a very good point. You can actually check Hobo right after the pyramid. There's actually this little ledge you can jump down off right next to the Hammerpex bridge. Didn't think about that.
That would seem to be the easiest way to get there. And you get a heart for it.
I usually never think about that little detail there. I just often hit Hobo, and most of the time it doesn't even hurt me. But yeah, I mean, if you're having an opponent like Slowpoke, you probably want to be sure to check that in case it actually ends up having something.
Oh yeah, it does look like it is a little delayed, doesn't it?
Yeah, meanwhile, Slowpoke also picks up his Ice Rod. Maybe I'm a little bit far behind. Just have to quickly refresh the stream.
It looks like HauntedQuest is taking the long walk there.
Yeah, I mean, walking back from the other side to Palace of Darkness is even longer, so might as well take that way now. It's not terribly long.
Have anybody heard that?
But yeah, seems like our friend Slowpoke here is gonna do the same thing. Checking Catfish first. Well, he actually has checked Zora now and got all the flipper stuff out of the way, so he's kind of headed towards pot after this. So he's gonna be close on HauntedQuest's heals here.
That poor Catfish is swimming in some very, very polluted water, it looks like.
Maybe he just likes muddy water.
You know.
Well, and the pyramid didn't have anything either. Just a piece of heart. So yeah, it's either gonna be, I guess, Palace of Darkness.
I think that's. I mean, unless you really believe in following the exact letter of the logic, please send you to one of the pendants there. You're probably going to pod.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of would have been tempted to go into Ice Palace right there because, I mean, you were literally right there at the portal, and Ice Palace was next to the Lake Hylia. I mean, yeah, but I guess at this point you really want to do Palace of Darkness first.
Oh,
I mean, the other way around, Palace of Darkness is a little bit more difficult to approach right now than Ice Palace is.
you got the mirror, so you can pop in and out there. I mean, you've got the bow, you've got the mirror. You're not going to be locked out of it at any point. But it's not great. None of the options that these guys have are great, but it looks like both of them are making the exact same play.
Well, I'm kind of excited of what we are going to find here. I think Fire Rod would be kind of a great addition right now, just to send into Ice Pillars, to not find anything in there, and then Morphila has the next progressive item.
I kind of feel like a hammer at this point might actually be, it's getting to be about time. Pod hammer. That seems okay,
I mean,
but
Hammer Go mode would be a thing in this seed, actually. Or it could be a thing.
it could.
But at least we don't have to worry about any Trinix in this seed since we already have the Ice Rod. And Fire Rod is pretty much guaranteed to pop up.
Right, they're almost to the point that that they don't have to worry about anything showing up.
Yeah, I think Trinix is actually the only boss we cannot beat right now. Which is pretty much always the case.
Right. That's always one of those weird problems with the Enemizers, is that when can you call yourself in go mode if you don't have the Ice Rod?
I mean, if I'm in that situation and I can clear out every single dungeon, I just go for it. And if I encounter Trinix, I
you
just
go for it and then
back to a couple of places where the Ice Rod could potentially be.
Right. Yeah, you go for it and just pray that you don't run into on land mode too.
Yeah, that's actually the latest spot where Trinix can actually pop up. Right. And from there on out, you're pretty safe. So it's not a bad idea. It's just a little bit painful if you actually have to leave and look for the Ice Rod, but at least to my experience, whenever there's a Trinix on land mode 2, it's usually likely for the Ice Rod to be inside GT itself. Given that is like the only place. But maybe I'm just biased there.
I'm still sore about the other night.
Can't blame you. So far, Darkness not really offering anything.
Yeah, we are looking at a whole lot of nothing so far.
Well, I guess we got a couple of keys, so that's nice. Bullet Mansion, as we like to call it. Business in the front, party in the back. Or was it vice versa?
Mm-hmm. Found the big key.
Oh, that's nice. If only we had the hammer. Could we even have a vanilla hammer this time around?
I feel like that's the way we're headed. Get a vanilla hammer and a fire rod locked someplace crazy. I don't know, deep in Turtle Rock.
Ooh,
oh my God, that's
fire rod on laser bridge. I haven't had that in a while.
Oh, I've been waiting for a while to see one of those.
I think there was one seed that I played during the last week that actually had once a fire rod on laser bridge. Too bad it was inverted though, but...
Oh, well, then in that case... Oh, speak of the devil.
Wow, okay, so actually the fire rod wasn't... Okay, so Morphila, maybe next progressive item? Or, well, it doesn't even have to be Morphila, whatever boss is gonna be at Morphila.
And there's... Is that... Are we... Is that go mode? No,
it depends. We still need the flute, which we know of, and then maybe Quake. So maybe go mode. I would say it's Schrödinger's go mode, depending on what Misery-Maya medallion is going to be.
Looks, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like HauntedQuest is treating this as go mode. He mirrored out immediately.
Yeah, I think he's
boss.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. I mean, he can pretty much beat every boss in this game right now. Regardless of what is popping up, he probably just hopes that Misery-Maya is not gonna be Quake. But I'm just gonna say that Misery-Maya is going to be Quake just because of that.
So this is the way it always is, and probably Quake will be back in here, maybe?
I mean,
that's a good point.
It's usually my luck with Enemizer. Whenever I have 2 medallions, it's usually the one that's missing that is going to be required for the last dungeon.
Ravis brings up a good point there, that the GT torch is still in play. I mean, Desert Palace isn't going to be a thing this seed, it looks like, but get that lovely big key on the torch.
Oh, that is true. Well, and then we actually need to find the boots as well.
This is, like he says, we'll get to see if that unique item in GT is actually a thing or not.
Yeah, so what could it be at this point? I mean, the Book of Medora could be there. It can't be the flute. So it has to be either book, boots, or theoretically Quake if it's not required for Maya.
Oh,
Can't think of anything else.
Looks like it.
I don't know. Are males also considered to be unique items? I don't think so, right?
No, because there's two of them. Anything that there's multiples of, they usually don't consider that. But
I mean,
I don't
there
know.
are 2 gloves as well, and they are still considered unique items. So that brings up the question there.
We found single arrow up in a Super Bunny cave there. And Armos dancing with spikes in the room. Don't wait too long. This will be over quickly.
Oh yeah, especially with silver arrows, that's basically free. And dropping some bombs here for HauntedQuest. So, okay, so that means we have 4 of the 5 items here in Palace of Darkness. Actually, a pretty nice idea for him to just abandon the other chests there. Saves him a little bit of time in the end. Okay, I guess HauntedQuest will go towards Swamp now to get that flute from left side. Is what my next assumption is. Yeah, it seems like that. And then it's
You
only...
just go ahead and flood that key.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really necessary. Unless the boots happen to be in the bag, then they're still required. Oh, that would be something I would like to see as well. Like, get baited into GT for the unique item just to find Quake or the book in there. Just to have the boots in the bag of Swamp or on Argus boss place.
I kind of feel like if the game is going to be this gentle, we should at least get one bulky thing in here. The hammer and the fire rod kind of being in an awkward place. I mean, it gave you go mode at an hour 7. I mean, you can't really complain about that.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, well, Schrodinger's go mode at least. I mean, we still don't know if Maya's gonna be Quake, so... Yeah, but I think at this point with the unique item in GT, it kind of lowers the chance for Maya to be Quake.
Be boots or... It's got your boots in there or book.
Or Quake if it's not required for Maya. But that's like the only things that are left.
Yeah. Hey, that is most amazing things that I've ever read.
Just imagine that the first chest he actually ran across there behind the bombable wall is the boots. I mean, they could potentially save a little bit of time. If it's the boots, actually.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Slowpoke decides to check that. I mean, it's kind of on the way. So not wasting too much time. But I guess with silver arrows, gold sword, mirror shield, blue mail, you'll be fine for the rest of the game.
You're not going to be looking to check really anything else at this point. I mean, in GT, if you ran into the red mail, you wouldn't be sad for anything else. You've got gold sword, you got silvers, you've got everything. Looks like HauntedQuest is just probably gonna go straight in and flood that key because you don't need it right now. If the Terrapin,
I mean, if the turtle would be nice enough to let him flood the key. The Book of Medora requires the hookshot. Okay, well,
that's
the book is not a GT.
Yeah, that's a GT or back of Swamp.
Yeah, I think it's back of Swamp that the hint is referring to. And that the item in GT is either the boots or Quake, is what I would assume at this point.
Probably,
I mean, it would be nice if it was boots. It would still make the gauntlet a little bit easier, especially with the ice surface later on.
Ray, check that chest. Anyone see what he was?
Oh, I completely missed it because I was paying attention to HauntedQuest stream.
Right, yeah. Brief moment, and he was walking out of the door there.
Yeah, but didn't look like it was anything remotely important.
Ooh. There's your flute. And the other thing was what, bombs, I think? Or a bottle? Was it a bottle?
I just catch the hint about the flute being on left side spawn.
It was a bottle, right.
But yeah, that's potentially go mode for HauntedQuest right there. Just gotta see what Misery Maya is going to end up being. And and I bet he's just hoping it's not Quake right now.
Oh, if it's Quake, then what can you do right now? You'll go to Skull, you'll beat Skull real fast.
Did HauntedQuest actually read the hint in Swamp Palace? I don't think he did, right? So the information is only to Slowpoke. Would be nice to see if it is actually Quake, and Quake happens to be behind the Book of Medora, which is in Swamp Palace.
I figure out how that would work, but
Yeah, and the goose is loose for HauntedQuest right there. Picks up the fire rod right now. Well, oh right, yeah, he's going to finish off skulls right now. Great idea. You're already here, might as well. And we also get to see what lovely boss is gonna be in the Morphine arena. Though at this point, regardless of what it's going to be,
Helmasaur.
oh, it's also kind of dangerous at Wallmaster there in Swamp Palace just before the drop down. I get nightmares from Wallmasters being in the drop down room just before cold stare and then getting gripped while you lift the stone. It's always the worst.
Oh, you're describing what happened to me in one of my group stage races.
It's never a fun situation. I mean, I experienced it a couple of times myself.
So bad. I ended up losing that race by about I would say 2 minutes and stuff. So enough for that Wallmaster to basically have been the difference. Oh.
No, seriously, I want to play this seat. This is super generous. The enemy placement is so convenient in this. Why can't I get nice seats like that?
It's lit. It's lit. You can go. All right. This has not been a very strenuous seed. I'll give it that. Master. Oh, no. Okay.
All right, so who are we gonna have? Another Landmo?
That's a Landmo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those great Landmos where you just you don't actually get to see if you walk in and you don't see what it is. It's a Landmo.
Yeah, although the conveyor belt doesn't really make this fight any less annoying. I mean, I always get tempted, or rather baited there by the conveyor belt just stopping moving for the Landmo fight. And then suddenly, when you are in position, it starts moving.
And oh my!
I mean, at least the spikes are not moving this time around. Then that would be interesting.
Oh, Quake on Meyer.
Ooh, so we actually need Quake. Okay, it's actually, I don't know if that's good or bad information.
Oh, well.
I mean,
okay, we've got. This is gonna get real interesting now.
Okay, so that pretty much tells us that the item in GT has to be the boots.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
But on Earth is okay. That was a oh, and yeah, you're not going any further in desert either.
Yeah, well, yeah, since the pendant, okay, yeah, desert is not required in the slightest. I still want to see that Book of Modora come into play. That's probably in the back of Swamp.
Yeah, I think that might be the where you need to go right now. I mean, unless we're gonna run into it right now, which is possible, but
yeah, I mean, Ravis has a point there. The left side of GT is also hookshot locked.
Right.
But yeah, I think if you encounter hints like that, they usually refer to dungeons pre-GT.
You can bonk to yeah, well that is true. You can bonk to some of those chests, but not all of them.
Yeah, so nothing in desert either. I wonder if Slowpoke actually is considering the book in Swamp Palace right now.
I would be tempted. I mean, we haven't checked Checkerboard Cave yet. This would be very typical of the medallion being right next to the entrance.
Oh yeah, that happens more often than I would like to see it.
That's 10 arrows, though.
I mean, if only we had some arrow capacity upgrades, which was removed
a
with
piece of
30.
heart requires a big red bomb.
Yeah, well, that's at least one of the items. I mean, you could go to Turtle Rock right now and get that out of the way and then do double chested for the other item. So I'm kind of interested to see if, but I'm not kind of interested. I think either of these runners will go to Turtle Rock first before even diving back into Swamp and Ice Palace. Just because it's a crystal,
yeah, that
you
makes more
have
sense.
done it anyway. Done it. You have to do it anyway.
That makes more sense. That seems like the smart play to go. Is just to hit up Turtle Rock, clear out what's there. It could be in Mimic Cave. It could be anywhere at this point. That's the thing about medallions. They're to have you as your last item.
Yeah, it's either that or the Ice Rod usually, which is go mode.
Oh.
Either of these are not really great.
Slowpoke's gonna go clear out Mothula.
Or the Morpheo Molas.
I guess it's time for maybe a quick review here. We are looking for Quake Medallion. Everybody is more or less has about the same amount of items here. Slowpoke is maybe a slight bit behind, thanks to an earlier death at the top of Tower of Hera. But other than that, it is pretty equal. The next play looks to be like we were guessing, probably going to be that Dead Rock lets HauntedQuest through.
No, I kind of want to be Quake, the last item, to be in Palace of Darkness. I can't even remember. We found at least 4 of the 5 items, as far as I know.
I feel like Slowpoke checked everything. I don't think he just...
I didn't see
everything.
The Dark Maze, so... But it might just be me that I missed out on that. Yeah, I mean, there are flying fishes all over the place in Hyrule. You can't blame it. I mean, that's pretty common.
Video game logic. Fish don't need air to breathe. Wait, fish don't need to... Wait, yeah, never mind. I can't talk right now.
It's fine. It's
almost 2 a.m. here, so, let me be.
Alright, yeah, it looks like HauntedQuest is actually going straight for Turtle Rock right now. So, let's see if we are going to find Quake here, or if Quake is potentially the other item at the double-chested fairy.
It's true. Slowpoke is checking the...
never mind.
Did he miscount?
I think we didn't get the second item. I remember them picking up 20 rupees from Skullwoods earlier. I'm not sure if they actually picked up the second item, but he might have miscounted.
Yeah, he's got everything. Yeah, he must have miscounted there because they picked up 10 arrows earlier. I remember that. We're getting a ped check here for. Yeah, I guess technically, no, it couldn't. Well, it
Yeah,
could.
there cannot be anything actually on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Two and
what could be
left?
I mean, technically, nah.
I mean, Quake.
If the boots are if the boots are locked in the back of Swarm, then it could be Quake. I don't know.
I mean, just the worst thing ever.
I mean, I probably would have
Quest
checked it, but then again, he doesn't have the Book of Modora. You can't even check it. So
Oh,
never
right.
mind that.
Of course, that was probably the reason why he left. Oh, he's continuing to check.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's thinking there's an item in the big chest left. I have to admit, I do this mistake every now and then as well when I'm absolutely unsure. If I check Skullwoods earlier, I usually tend to forget how many items I actually fought in there.
Oh, we'll find out real fast, and he gets 20 rupees. So he was right.
Yeah, alright, so that's 2 items then. Neither of them Quake.
The quest is going to progress through here, and goodbye, Igor.
Oh my goodness, I love this. I'm not really sure why this happens. It has to do with something, the Igor being placed on a different layer in the game, and the game just tries to push it back onto the correct layer, and it just keeps on walking until it's back in balance. Something along the lines. And yeah, it's always nice to see if those gals just piece out into out of balance.
Just like, nope, I'm done. That's it.
Got some fancy moonwalking here.
Screw it, I'm out.
Michael Jackson inspired Igor.
Oh, hi, surprise Wallmaster.
Oh, that's also a bad place for a Wallmaster.
Oh, that's not a good feeling. Goodness. You know what? Another place we have not looked is Spike Cave.
Oh, that's totally right.
I always forget that too.
But I think you can put that off until after Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's probably the best.
First is, I don't know if it's actually a better idea to do that first. I mean, it potentially would save you to go through Turtle Rock. But then again, Turtle Rock is not gonna be significantly faster in or without go mode.
Right.
So I think in this situation you would do Turtle Rock first and then check Spike Cave.
Slowpoke's gonna go and he's gonna clean up that cold stare fight up here on the top.
Yeah, getting his revenge, and then he's kind of up with HauntedQuest again.
If HauntedQuest gets caught by that Wallmaster again, that'll even things up real fast, but...
That'd be actually the worst if that were to happen. I guess at this point you just take it slowly.
At this point, what all you start thinking about is, okay, so where is that stinking thing gonna be?
Where's our beloved bacon coin? It's just a map in the vanilla big chest. Big key chest.
Yep. Alright, round 2 to cold stare is going on Slowpoke's side over here. And choosing the ice rod.
I'm pretty sure that's the fire rod. But okay.
Yeah.
It would be funny if the ice rod were actually to melt cold stare's shell.
Well, no, it would be
even
better if it just made him bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Like, shoot cold stare with the ice rod and he's putting up his ice shell again.
It's just like, oh, well, that's should I?
But that really makes you feel like the ice rod is only meant for Trinex, which is kind of a shame. It's actually a great item, all things considered, if it were to work on a couple of bosses. I think the only boss that it works on is Lanmo.
Yeah,
it doesn't work on Morphula. I think Lenmo is the only boss outside of Trinix where it actually is a little bit useful.
Right. It's a weapon that just you would hope that it would do something, but it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, well, I guess on Argus it works as well.
Oh, and we've got our red mail, so we'll get to see. Wow, that is.
Okay, got all the safeties now and all the shields, all the swords. So yeah, endgame is gonna be pretty easy.
We are fully stacked here. It looks like Slowpoke is going to be joining HauntedQuest here in Turtle Rock, so we'll see. We've still got a heck of a race coming here.
Oh, definitely. It's all about going to. It's all gonna be about finding that Quake medallion now. Some caches and Skullwoods. Well, that would have been a pretty neat hint before doing Skullwoods. And always laughed at if you actually get hints for the dungeons that you just completed.
Oh yeah. It's what was one that I saw earlier today or something. It was like Sanity hint saying that like the tower, you're in the Tower of Hera, and this is like the Tower of Hera big key is in this place, and it's like thanks, I know I'm here now.
Those are the best hints. I mean, and you gotta laugh and hate the hint system at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it has no way of knowing. Pendant Ice Palace.
Well, Beamos on the Turtle Rock Laser Eye Bridge.
And?
Ugh.
Okay, we got our key. And a heart. Fire bar right there, and there's your Quake.
Right. Yeah, so that's officially go mode for HauntedQuest. Just gonna finish up Turtle Rock now. And it's actually gonna be a fairly close race, all things considered. I mean, Slowpoke is a little bit behind, but he's not that far behind, actually, all things considered.
Yeah, if that Meyer key or the GT big key, we still got those that could possibly, if one goes one way and one goes another way.
Yeah, it could really come down to a left side, right side GT gamble.
And Cold Stare. At the trilogy at this point?
Yeah, that's probably free by now. I'm expecting a couple more, maybe on Landmore 2, on Moldon 2. There's probably going to be another Cold Stare. We haven't seen Vitreous at all in this seat. I mean, it's kind of a shame. I like Vitreous. But I guess runners don't want to see that either.
The thing there is I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, but if you fight Cold Stare in that room, if you take his eyeballs and you knock them up into the spikes, he takes damage from the spikes.
I'm not really sure if that applies to Turtle Rock, but it does in Skullwoods.
Okay, maybe in Skullwoods? Okay, because there's a few enemies that if you just take them and fight them in that room and just smack them up against the spikes there, it makes the fight very quick.
Thaler Flute actually had a hint for left side swamp. That is the reason they actually went there in the first place.
That Hinox throwing the bombs into the water, just like whoop.
Well, yeah, Flute on left side swamp, that's always a thing. I mean, that usually is like the worst case scenario for Flute to be in. Especially when Flute is go mode. And then especially if you're going to be me and skip it and then lose a race to that. Just because Flute was your last go mode item, you literally clear everything out and don't find the Flute at all while your opponent just decides to go left side swamp. Ugh. Fun times.
That's not that wouldn't be something you'd want.
Alright, so HauntedQuest meanwhile on the hunt for the big key here in Misery Maya. Let's see if we're gonna have a God Maya this time around.
The big spike ball that can't move. Oh, Atomizer's just the best.
Meanwhile, Slowpoke picking up the bombs from the big chest is gonna find his Quake medallion pretty soon. So that's at least a small key in Misery Maya. Just gotta hope that the next chest, that's right here, the Spike Room chest is what I like to call it, is gonna have the big key to make this whole Maya play a little bit more convenient. I really hate having to go to the left side just to find the big key if it's behind the cutscene chest.
And it's a Godmire.
Oh, that's actually perfect.
Oh.
So maybe GT big key on the torch?
That is the last trolley thing we could have. I mean, and the only way that makes that's a big deal is if Ravis's prediction comes through of having the big key on the torch, having the boots on one of the one of the tablets.
Or maybe in Pen and Ice Palace, that would be equally trolly, I guess.
At this point.
It's actually a nifty idea from Slowpoke there to just quickly turn around to block the laser.
Actually,
I actually never thought about doing it that way.
I think when I was a kid, that's the way I used to do it.
I think I never got past this place at all when I was a kid. Back then, I just kept constantly dying into the rock. Even with Blue Mail at that point.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when I was playing this, I used to play all day for do an entire run through of the game, and it's a Trinex.
I was about to say, okay, that's almost vanilla, but we are Misery Maya right now.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, I'm watching the wrong screen here.
Oh my. But yeah, getting that ice one was actually a pretty good idea. I'm not really sure if I would have gambled that Ice Sword not being required at all, but it seems like if Ice Sword is out there in the open, regardless of which ledge it is going to be, if it's Lake Hylia, Zora ledge or Bumper ledge, it's usually required anyway.
Yeah, if you can see it, just grab it. I mean, unless it's going to be an absolute bear to get, you want to be safe.
Yeah, and it's such a big time saver. I've had a couple of seeds in the past where Iceland was sitting on Zora ledge and you just gambled it, and then you found flippers in Turtle Rock, and you still had to do Trinix, which had the bow as the next progressive item. That's always a bad feeling.
That's a bit of a chain, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that guessing game. That's right. That is something we do on this channel, isn't it? Okay. Know the command?
I have no idea. If Tress is around, he probably knows it. I'm not really sure myself.
Huh? What?
Tress. The Ganon Tower guessing game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where's the big key?
Where's the big key gonna be
at? Use exclamation mark bet and your bet on this channel to bet. I'm starting.
Oh, all right.
At 7.
I'm just gonna go with 14. That's actually my lucky charm.
I'm not sure if Tale is being trolly or if I'm being trolly.
I mean, 3 kind of depends on what way the runners go. It could be either 1. And 3 is only really the case if it's gonna be right side first and then left side.
Right.
I mean, it could theoretically be Tile Room if someone were to gamble in this seed. That would be actually a thing that could put Slowpoke ahead if he just gambles Tile Room right away, while HauntedQuest goes on the long quest for the big key in GT.
I mean that is an option here. So what have we got here? It looks like we've got Haunted Quest entering at about 138.05. I mean, there's probably about a 3 to 4 minute lead at this point for him. The first chest there for Haunted Quest, and he's going to continue to the right here. So if we get it on the torch, I apologize.
Well, I mean, we are pretty much... Well, we don't have to be guaranteed to get the boots here. I think boots is an option for GT, but we'll see about that.
There's one dark GT though.
That's one things I like about the Randomizer is these randomized color palettes. Some of them look really good, especially if you have like a blue color in Spawn Palace. It's like totally fitting for the dungeon itself. Or a greenish color for Eastern, light green.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you can get some absolutely beautiful ones, and sometimes you can get ones that you start the seed, you play for 5 minutes, and you go, you know what, I'm gonna roll the seed again.
Yeah, so that was chest 3 to 6.
It was chest number 6.
Yeah. Also, I think there was a vanilla compass, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Okay.
I'm not really sure if it was the same chest, but I think, yeah. French one.
7's bombs. Okay. Well.
Oh, there goes Torch.
Yep.
No boots today. I mean, unless we picked them up here by chance.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be back in Ice Armos or Tower Room or something there.
Yeah, well, Slowpoke makes quick work of the Trinix in Maya now.
So I guess at this point we have to put out the obligatory statement that yes, we are actually 100% in go mode now.
Okay, chest number 10, only a hard piece. Chest number 11, so 11-1.
11 is your winner today, and that would make your winner...
Actually, let's go.
Let's go.
Hey!
Hey, that's wrecked.
Hey!
Yeah, congratulations to Tresco for winning the betting game on the GT Big Key.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I can't complain too much. I won my first time I watched on this channel, so hey, there we go.
Yeah, and Slowpoke also on his way to GT right now. It's gonna be interesting to see if he decides to just go straight left, or maybe even go for the Dark Magician strat to save him some time.
Either one would do him very good right now, but we'll have to see. He's a good 4 minutes behind at this point. So like, if he's gonna do it, he's gonna have to do something. That's gonna be his best chance to make up here.
Yeah, I guess this particular case, I probably would start with the left side just to see if the GT is actually GT Big Key is actually on the torch to get that information out of my mind, and just keep going left. I mean, worst case scenario, it's on the right side, or maybe just go straight for Dark Magician threat, which is actually only punishing if the Big Key ends up being in the random room.
Or Walsh, you bring up a good point there. Wall Masters and GT, they are a thing, and they are absolutely heartbreaking. This is actually, yeah, with that in mind, this is far from over.
Yeah, a little bit of a stressful gauntlet here. This is why I really like bombos for these kind of rooms. Makes it so much more convenient.
Oh, but those little red bubbles, if you hit them with bombos, they only just split into the little ones, and that's somehow
Actually, they don't do that. Actually, at least
really?
on bombos. On EVA they do, but not on bombos.
Oh well, now I know what I'm doing the next time I'm up here.
Just incinerate like all the other enemies, which is one of the things. And I would say Bombos is the better medallion in Animizer. Just because of that little detail.
Definitely. Okay, well, that's... I now have something else to think about here.
Yeah, so what are we gonna see here on Landmore 2? I mean, last potential spot for another Trinex.
A Trinex in there always makes me laugh just because of the entrance. It's immediately. It's not Trinex. It's something else.
Then, especially the shell in the next room. Oh, it's Vitreous!
Hey, you got
A
your
little bit
wish.
too late. I mean, pretty free with the silver arrows right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, would have been nice to see that boss earlier without silver arrows. It's always a shame Vitreous is like no challenge at all with the silver arrows. Hence is why I usually prefer to play on at least hard mode. But yeah, I guess that's fine as well.
Yeah. Hard mode is fine. Ooh.
Interesting choice there to use Bombos.
I mean, I guess there was a couple of shadows in there probably. I couldn't tell because of the
Yeah, there were two
incredibly
actually
dark.
of them. That's also interesting about the shadows is that they actually are vulnerable even though they are invincible. Their hitbox is already there, so you can just hit them with hookshot or either of the medallions.
Right, the hookshot is hookshot is my usual strat there, but oof,
Ooh,
man.
Nice mimic there on the conveyor bridge.
Oh,
God. It's a nice anti-fairy there. Always a dangerous enemy.
oh, especially with it sucks your magic more than you think.
It does.
In
And anti-fairies
like
usually ignore any objects around them. So, for example, to just go through the statues you can push around, which makes them one of the most dangerous enemies in Animizer.
Oh, definitely. It looks like Slowpoke over there did go for the left side and has made up quite a bit of time there. He is in the gauntlet as we speak.
Well, it's a pretty good choice for him, actually. Saved him, I think, a minute, maybe 1.5.
Ooh,
Oh, Helmer saw on... Okay, that's one of the fights I despise the most personally, just because it's so annoying. Helmer saw tends to knocks me off all the time with his tail.
Just like that.
Exactly like that. Oh my goodness. I would actually suggest to just use bombs here instead of the hammer. I mean...
Yeah, that might be the way to go with this, is to stand to the side and toss bombs at him. You've got red mail. That might be the better way to go about that.
That's what I usually end up doing, and then just giving a nice little silver arrow to the face or to the jewel on his forehead. And you are good to go. Hammer is way too risky on this arena.
Oh. This is a pretty good strat, I think, by HauntedQuest here. I've never thought about just standing to the side and doing it, because you always just try to square them up, but this is a pretty good one right there.
Well, definitely using the hammer extension there with the sword. It's a pretty nifty idea. I have to admit, I've never thought of this myself.
Okay, now here comes the real fun.
Yeah, just switch to the bow. I mean, at this point...
Taking a lot of damage here, but Helmet finally decided to play nice there.
Okay, well...
Took a lot of time there.
Yeah, that's why Hammer Saw on Moldon 2 is usually one of the more annoying bosses. Like, could there be? Or could be there, actually.
Now, HauntedQuest switching immediately to that cape to get through this next room, which I completely understand. This is one of those rooms where you can often find all sorts of craziness and wall masters in there.
Oh, definitely. This is literally the bane of my existence, this room. Especially on the Animizer settings that I usually go with. Ugh. I always shudder in fear when I enter that room. So we have our dear friend Aghanim too here, our Or beloved trigonometry wizard. Oh, was that a triple?
That was
Or
a
it
triple. That was a firm triple right there.
Ooh, nice. Starting for the triple. Missing the double there, but
A single on that round. And a pretty good setup here. So, and he's down to his last hit.
Yeah, I think that should be the last hit if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and that's trigonometry class finished. Well done.
Okay.
Then it's off to the big key. Big key. Wow. Sorry, I'm a mumbling mess right now. It's getting late over here as well. Yeah, it's only Ganon left whilst Slowpoke is just about to enter the Helmasaur fight. Let's see if he's gonna take a fall here. But he's also deciding to go with Hammer Strats.
If he can do this a little bit faster, he makes up a lot of time here. Now, HauntedQuest does have a fairly routine Ganon fight here, so.
Oh, it's kind of. Oh, and he takes a fall. That's a shame. It looked good though. I mean, Helmasaur's playing pretty nice for Slowpoke there. But then, yeah.
HauntedQuest has some magic, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he bought 2 blue potions earlier in the game.
Right, so because he took himself pretty far down there. Yep, there they are. Probably gonna be just fine here.
Did you find the arrows in the light rod? Yes, we did, Ganon. Okay, I wonder if he's gonna go for the triple setup. Apparently not.
Didn't quite get it there, and it looks like Slowpoke is still having trouble over there with the unfortunately placed Helma.
Yeah, I cannot blame him. I mean, Helmasaur at this spot is objectively the worst.
And shot number 4, and that will take
Ganon, get your GGs in, chat, for HauntedQuest. Let's see if we can pull him in for an interview.
Should push him into the 3rd round there for sure.
Welcome, HauntedQuest. GG.
Hello.
Well, hey there, HauntedQuest. GG on this race. How do you feel about the seat?
Yeah, it was quite tricky. I think it didn't allow a lot of different routing options, like with the entirety of East Dark World not available, and all the stuff kind of being in out of the way locations, like having to go and deliver the mushroom and then walk around, and it was kind of tedious. I was actually really worried that Slowpoke had done an early Aga here, because I think that could have saved a lot of time and gotten a really early go mode. But yeah, I was pretty happy with how I played it. I think it was pretty good in terms of routing, and execution was fine as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, the thing we were worried about is that Aghanim was going to be required as well at some point, but then you eventually found the flippers and then thought about the idea of just going to get that ice and then swim over to Bullets of Darkness, which was the smartest idea in this seed. Too bad that Maya ended up being Quake, isn't it?
Yeah, that was annoying. And I was hoping that it would be then in Turtle Rock or in Mire area and not somewhere in Ice Palace or Swamp Palace. That would have been terrible.
Also, we say hi to Slowpoke as well. GG, Slowpoke. It didn't quite work out in the end, but it was a fun match, for sure. He's muted, so... And potentially having some mic issues. I heard him
Either that
talking
or
about it
he's
earlier.
just waiting.
HauntedQuest, that was your early climb up there, up Tower of Hera, really helped you take a bit of an early lead there when you were able to take out that cold stare on the top on your first attempt up there. Slowpoke unfortunately took a fall up there and decided to nope out. So that kind of gave you a good early cushion there. But you guys were neck and neck for most of the race.
Yeah, I mean that cold stare fight made me feel really good early. Just getting through there, getting that done, and having 2 crystals pretty early, and then getting the 3rd one just after going into the Dark World. And really, all 3 cold stare fights were pretty good. I think that was really an area where I saved a lot of time and had really good execution today. But yeah, that was really good.
How do you feel about that Helmasaur up on the GT?
Yeah, I haven't done too much Enemizer, so I haven't faced Helmasaur there ever. So it was the first time, and I kind of had to figure out my strats. The first time I tried going up front, and I noticed quickly that that's not gonna work. It's just gonna push me off, and then I kind of came up with that sideways strat. I thought about using bombs as well, but I don't have a lot of practice with bomb Helmasaur, so I just thought, okay, I'll do that sideways strat and try to play it safe, avoid the fall, and yeah, it worked out in the end.
And it's also something I actually like to see, that you came up with the hammer extension hitbox there. Something I really haven't thought about either. So it was pretty nice to see, actually.
Yeah, it was kind of it's kind of the thing with Enemizer, you have to think on the fly a lot, and you just can't go through your routines. So yeah, that was an interesting situation there.
Oh, fair enough. And we also welcome Slowpoke here, GG.
Everybody, GG, Haunted Quest, congratulations, GG to you, and best of luck in the Sweet 16.
GG to you as well, with some fun races.
That's definitely a fun race today and a fun race last night.
Yeah, today was a little less stressful, I would say. It was a little shorter as well.
Yeah, I'll take both of those. Less stress, shorter race. Actually get to kill some pokies.
Yeah, oh god, don't remind me.
So yeah, Slowpoke, Helmasaur on Troll Dome 2. Your thoughts?
Thanks for me. Horrible location, doable but horrible location. It is, but I was hoping Helmasaur would be in Skullwoods instead, but after Sword today.
Well, I was rooting for Blind in there.
More blinds in Skullwoods, please. No, I was chanting Helmasaur's name as I forget who was first to get in there. I think it was HauntedQuest, but I was chanting Helmasaur for Skullwoods. The Landmo, but hey, can't get everything you want, right?
See, these were cold stare anyway.
I was chanting not Vitreous as I was going down Skullwoods, so that would have been my worst case.
Skullwoods, I'm just glad it wasn't Vanilla Moth. See this race, have we?
See Moth. We didn't see Moth, and we didn't see Blind. Did we see Blind?
No, we actually didn't.
No.
I think those are the only 2 bosses we are missing in this seat.
Argus as well.
But there was at least
And
one.
Moldor.
Yeah, Argus maybe. Well, I mean, Lenmo could theoretically be Moldworm, so...
one Landmo that ate the others and be turned into Moldorm.
So many Moldorm.
So yeah, you guys were pretty close to each other. I really want to say it came down to that cold stare fight in Hera, which actually gave HauntedQuest here a little edge. I don't think it was the major difference, but it certainly helped him a little bit, not having to backtrack there.
probably helped, and then I think the other factors were probably, I'm guessing, better routing, better execution, etc., on Haunted Quest's end.
I would say in that regard, you both were pretty equal, actually. I mean, at least routing-wise, you pretty much ended up doing the same stuff, just in a different order, and went into the same direction afterwards, once it all cumulated into Palace of Darkness. But I really want to say it came down to that Cold Stare fight in Hera, but I'm not entirely sure, so don't nail me on that.
It is what it is. Or, yeah, figured it would be a lot better to come later rather than just die again.
Yeah, which is actually the smarter way. I mean, ideally you can combine that just before doing GT as well. That saves you a little bit of time. I mean, it's not the worst death, especially when you got all items out of there already.
That's what I was thinking when I was going through. It's all right. I have my 2 items. I know there's either a map or compass. I don't remember which on Cold Stare. Let's peace out. Try this again. Get revenge later.
Yeah, definitely the smarter idea in that case. But overall, this was a pretty exciting seed to commentate, I have to say. I mean, there wasn't really room for route divergence because it was pretty straightforward in terms of item distribution. Seed kind of gave you this item here, so now go there and then you find all the remaining items. I think the only thing in this seed was Quake that was a little bit trolly for you. But yeah, overall, it was really fun to see this seed.
Very much. And by the way, thank you so much for the commentators. Thank you for the tracking. Thank you so much for the restream. It was fun. I'm looking forward to coming back and seeing the VOD after this.
Coolio. Alright. Thanks again to Dazed and to Cine for doing the commentary. Shoutouts to our 2 girls on tracking, Tale and Norinado, that actually left a little message, a little GG message on the trackers once you were done. We only saw that briefly on stream, but hey. Good luck to Haunted for the rest of the tourney. And yeah, we'll be back on ZSR in about 90 minutes. Having a little more 3D action on here with the Breath of the Wild 90% race. Until then, thanks for watching everyone. And Happy New Year pretty much, because it's only two days away, so yeah, see you soon. Thanks everyone.